What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I have a presentation for you guys that's going to help you guys overcome just overthinking, especially through the process of trying to get in shape. And I talk about a lot of different aspects of my life and my client's life in this video, and I made it something that it relates back to all of us and how you can basically put in no effort pretty much and get really good results. But that comes with understanding that you have to have a routine, you have to have structure, and that's going to make it to the point where you're literally putting no effort in every single day and you're getting the job done. You're getting what you want to accomplish done. And a lot of people have this misconception of okay, you have to live the gym bro lifestyle. You have to live this lifestyle that it's going to keep you trapped in your room or keep you trapped in by eating all these meals to get the results you need. But it's simply not true. You could just put yourself forward by doing the things that are going to make you push the needle further, by structuring out your days, right? By structuring out your meals, by structuring out your daily task, right? And I talk about that a lot. And you'll see more like in the video on how I compare the 90% locked in to the 10% fucking off, compared to the 100% locking in and knowing exactly where you want to be with your goals and knowing exactly what you want to see with yourself in the near future. So if you just lock in with this video, I promise you're gonna learn something from this, and you're honestly gonna take this, what I tell you, in this video, and you're gonna use it in your daily life, right? And before I start this video is, if you guys haven't downloaded some type of Notion, Google Calendar or something like that, make sure to get it, because I talk a lot about on how a routine is going to help you to keep this lifestyle sustainable, and how you can literally put in no effort on your day-to-day life, just knowing exactly what you need to do. A lot of people think, okay, I need to put in a lot of effort to get to the result, but in reality, you just need to put in the time, right, in the schedule in order to get to where you need to be faster, right? The goal isn't to just rush and make it, and the thing is, I'm not saying to rush, right? I'm just saying structure in a way of making it sustainable for your lifestyle and making it where you can get results in 4 to 6 months and not stay stuck for a couple of years of your life. You could literally save years of your life just in this presentation by simply taking action and understanding that there could be something that you're doing right now that's just wasting your time, right? So just get locked into this video. I hope you guys do enjoy this presentation. I just wanted to show you guys, because I see a lot of people, even in this world, or people, they ask me in my DMs, why do you eat the same meal every single day? Why do you do this every single day? It's for a reason, right? Because the one thing you can fall back on is your structure, right? But if you have no plan, you're planning to fail. And that's something that my mentor said. He was like, if you're not planning, you're planning to fail. And it only makes sense. And that means once you have a plan, right, you know what you need to fall back onto, so you're not wasting time, right? But if you sat there and you said, you know what, I'm not gonna take the time out of my day for 2-3 hours and do the things that I need to do and write down what I need to do every single day, then you're not going to get there, right? You're just gonna continuously keep telling yourself that it's hard, it's impossible, but it takes repetition and it takes failure in order to see long-term results. So this is exactly how you guys can do it. I hope you guys do enjoy the presentation. All right, y'all, we're back with the presentation. Like I said in the video, appreciate y'all for staying to the end. If you guys did stay to the end, this is where the value is going to get better and better. And I'm going to show you guys basically on how you guys can get results in the most easiest way possible. Like, a lot of people, what they do is they overcomplicate this system so much to the point where they're thinking that you have to do every single thing perfectly. But let me tell you this, I have some pointers in this video that are going to help you understand who you are as a person and how you can take whatever you're going through on a day-to-day basis. Either if you have kids, either you're busy all the time, you work a lot. I have clients that work 10 hours every single day, but they also seem to get every single task done that I give them. I structure the routine out. I make sure they're making progress. They have a step-by-step guide on what to do, their schedule, how to, when to eat their meals, etc. This can help you out. But remember, if you're not taking the time and you're not putting in effort in order to get these results, then most of the time you're just not going to see results. You're going to get the results. You're going to go 1, 2, maybe 3 weeks in, and then you're just going to completely give up on yourself because you're not structuring your routine. You don't have no plan. There's just something that you're not adding that's different, right? And there's something in this video that I really talk about, And it's really, really important. Just understand this is the method how to get results. If you guys not see right here, I got the winner circle. That is the protocol that me and my clients use as well. And I've done this several times. I've been working out for about 3 to 4 years. But let's get into this presentation just because I'm trying to add some value. I don't really do these videos, but I felt like this is necessary for even people that are watching this video and even for myself to look back on and understand that there is certain ways that you can get your daily tasks done. And on top of that, work 10 hours every single day, go to the gym, be consistent, eat on the meal plan, eat whatever you need to do, right? But you don't need to be stuck in the gym bro lifestyle. A lot of people think you have to live the gym lifestyle. You just have to understand that the gym should just be essential, something that's going to help you stay focused. You have to understand that the gym is also there to help you with productivity. You know what I'm saying? So I think that making progress at the gym is going to make you progress in other areas of your life. And I've told you guys my story several times on how for the longest period of time, I was only focused on one thing. And that one thing was only making money on social media. And I was stuck with no routine, no structure. I'd stream 5-10 hours every single day. But then I would forget about my other tasks, my other daily life that I wanted to, complete or I wanted to strive towards, like spiritually. I've been going to church a lot. I've been, really focused on really making sure that I'm making progress. I've been really making sure that I've been making progress with the word of God, etc. Because I'm always been the man that always put myself first. I put family first, but I never put God. That's really, really important too. If you guys want to structure this out on exactly how I say, then you guys can, but you don't have to do every single thing that I said. If you don't agree with me, then that's totally fine. Sometimes there's going to be someone that's agree with me or disagree with me, but either way, it's okay. And I talk about all the time on how sometimes if you're struggling to see results, then this presentation is literally for you, right? There is a way, even if you're 90% locked in compared to the 100% gym bro lifestyle, like I said before, to be completely honest with you, if you work a lot, put in so many hours at your job, you have kids, and this can be super hard to stay consistent with this lifestyle. But I have a way for you. Just watch. I promise you. Don't think just because you're busy every single day and 24 hours of the day, because that's just simply not true. You're telling yourself that basically you don't have time to work on yourself. You are the long-term investment into this protocol, right? You got to understand you're going to be the person that is going to help your kids. You're going to help the people around you. The goal is to understand that you have the time. It's simply you don't want to add the time to your schedule. And that's why scheduling is super important. In a routine, in a structure, that's going to help you on the long run. I did put, if you're 90% locked in, yes, you can see results, but keep on watching. This is the plan. You have a 90%, you have 100%. You're going 90% in compared to going 100% in, right? There's no specific plan or training regimen, right? You don't know exactly what you're doing at the gym, but you still show up every single day for yourself. That's amazing, right? I love that. That's a 90% plan that you don't have. Your workout schedule is about 4 days a week, and that's perfect. That's all you need is 4 days of going to the gym to building muscle and having that structure for yourself. That's completely fine. But the thing is you're not monitoring your calories. This is very, very important. Some people don't think that you don't need to be in a calorie deficit in order to lose weight. That is not true. There's a whole bunch of different diets, right? Like keto, cutting out carbs, carnivore diet, stuff like that. I'm just giving examples, but you got to understand either way, your body has to be in a calorie deficit. That's not going to be the only way you're going to lose weight. And there's something called I think it's called optimized priming or something like that. I know when I was down in Houston, some guy works on that and they actually eat more calories, but at the same time, they're probably shitting like bricks. They probably don't feel the best. They're forcing protein down their system. They're forcing all these meals. And in my opinion, that's just not the efficient way to do it. You don't have to eat a shit ton of calories. The goal is to eat high protein, low fat meals. So higher calorie meals, meaning, okay, chicken, right? Steak has a lot of calories, a lot of healthy fats in it. Protein shakes, stuff like that. That is going to be the point where you can literally get your one meal in just by a protein shake, right? If you struggle with time, bro, have a protein shake, have something that's going to be there for you to consume. So you're not over there stressing about the protein, getting your protein in every single day. So schedule your meals out, but you're going 90% in. So you don't exactly know what you have to do, right? You're just guessing every single time. You don't know what calories you're doing. You could eat 4 or 5 meals every single day. It does not matter. You do not know how your body is going to react to those 5 meals. And you don't know if you're overeating or undereating. But that's 90% locked in my opinion, right? You might say, oh, that may be 80%. But you have to hear me out on this. In order to actually, it just depends on who you are as a person when it comes to this protocol. It depends, right? If you're overweight, if you're over 200 pounds and you're like 5'5", there's something that's going on that you're not doing right. And you have to understand that, and that's okay. I was in the same position. I was 30 pounds overweight, consuming plenty of protein and low-fat foods, right? And this could be you just, eating out, 2 to 3 times a week, right? You're lacking a consistent, there's no defined structure. You're dining out more than 2 to 3 times a week, and you're not understanding that there's more that you could be putting in your routine that's going to help you sustain this lifestyle. Meaning that, yeah, maybe I would say to my clients, hey, you should meal prep instead of going out to eat. It's going to save you money. So if you're someone that's on a budget, you're someone that's struggling with kind of, understanding, you're telling yourself that it's super expensive to stay on a meal plan, but then again, it's like you're going out 2 or 3 times a week. Think about you're spending almost $150 a week because inflation is really bad. So you're spending a lot of money, and on top of that, you're not getting that much protein in because you're guessing your calories, right? But you could save this by going over here, going 100% in instead of going 90% in. So think about that in a way. So I'm going to tell you guys, so we went from 90%, and these are just the things that I've done over time that I know that I wasn't doing, but I was just guessing, right? So when you're going 90% in, sometimes you're just guessing, and it can lead you to failure. It could lead you to quitting, right? And that's why I don't really recommend going with the 90%. It just depends on who you are. But if you're someone with good genetics, you're someone that knows how to control their eating, they have a structured plan, you can go 90% in, right? You can eat out 2 to 3 times. And I talk about this in the slides, and we'll go more into the depth about this. The whole point of me saying this is the fact of if you're not having a structure is everything, right? If you don't plan, you're planning to fail. And most people will not sit there and tell you that. They're going to sit there and say, okay, I can just half-ass my goals and understand that, you know what, I might not get the results that I want, but I don't care, right? I still have to work a lot, this and that. Well, I'm here to tell you that mindset isn't always the best mindset to have. Understand that. But when you're going 100% in with your goals, you're maintaining consistency with nutrition goals in your well-organized workout program. I have my clients on a protocol where I track all of their workouts. I make sure they're hitting their nutrition goal every single day. And this is easy. MyFitnessPal, Cal.ai, they have so many apps where you can track your calories. You can make sure you're eating in your maintenance calories. If you like where you're at and you want to maintain, that's totally fine because you could still build muscle on top of maintaining your weight. That's totally fine. But if you are someone that's overweight, this is maybe something that you need, or something if you're skinny, this may be something that you need. Your daily calorie intake, your daily calorie tracking, like I just said, it's super, super important. Cal.ai, MyFitnessPal, that's what I have my clients on, and I track everything for them. And that's what some people need is structure. Establishing a routine. This could mean your morning routine. This could be just kind of going onto a calendar, tracking down exactly what you have to get done on a day-to-day basis so you're not off track. Right? So that Sunday you can meal prep. That Sunday you can plan ahead of time so you don't have to say that you're too busy to go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? So that's establishing a routine. Creating a structured plan is super, super important. And this is going to, consist throughout your daily habits, your daily life. And it's something that I've learned over time by investing into myself and understanding that if you don't plan, you're planning to fail. And sometimes it's easy for us to just go on our phone, forget that we're even living our life, and scroll for 2 hours. But if you have a plan, you have something on paper, right? Like I told you guys, every single morning I do the morning routine. I check it off, check the list. I have Notion. I do a lot of scheduling. That's how I schedule out my clients. I make sure that they're getting results, and that's through my structure, right? If I didn't have any structure, they wouldn't get results. And that can go for any aspect of your life. If you want to learn a skill, this is super, super important, right? If you want to become a trader, you want to learn sales, you want to do a certain skill, structuring your days is super, super important. And I would not just tell you guys this. I do this stuff, right? And I'm not 100% perfect. As you guys see, I'm inconsistent with YouTube sometimes. I'm inconsistent with posting. And I know I have my flaws, but that's why you can always fall back on your structure. And that's why it's super important. Allowing for one cheat meal each week. You do not have to starve yourself and think that you have to eat chicken, steak, and all these other meals. There's so many other opportunities for you and so many different things you can do that's going to help this, right? You can make meals at home and you can go get your favorite meal with your family. You don't have to be locked into your room eating chicken and rice after work. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is having a structured plan throughout the week. Meal prepping is going to, one, save you money. Two, it's going to get you to where you want to be with your goals, with your health, etc. So that's the one thing that I would recommend. You don't have to be locked in every single day of the week on a diet. You can go out once a week, but it just depends on who you are as a person. Like I said, if you have these goals, you're overweight, you feel like you want to follow a plan, a structured routine that's going to be sustainable for you to lose the weight that you want, and then you can get into getting a cheat meal, right? Sometimes you just don't deserve it as much as you think, right? You need to work hard for the things that you truly, truly want. That's my recommendation. This is very, very important, right? If you're someone that doesn't have time for the gym, go 4 times a week. That's all you need. I would recommend a 4-day split. That's it. And then I do a 6-day split since I go to the gym a lot, but I'm more about to start doing 5 days for more recovery because it's super, super important. That's a really big thing. So honestly, the person that's lifting 4 days, they're lifting with intention. They're going to see more results just because they have the structure, right? They're getting the rest, they're getting the sleep, they're making sure that they're getting the recovery that they need. And that's super important. Some people think, okay, I go to the gym for a long time and I'm going to see more results. Not true. Fully dedicating oneself to the process, right? You're fully committed. You're all in with your goals, and you don't let anything stop you, right? You don't let your friends on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or your family say, oh, you know what? We're just going to go out to eat. You gotta bring your meal prep, or you gotta, try to find something that's going to help you stay on track. Sometimes, like I said, maybe me or someone that's has a structured plan, this is good for. But if you're not sticking to the process, you're just going to fall off. Momentum is key. Once you fall off of momentum, that's when everything falls. I've done this so many times. Like I said, with content, I've done this so many times with myself, just focusing on making money, not spiritually aligning myself. There's so many different things you can think of, right? So just putting yourself in, fully dedicating your time to gaining results is going to be the best thing possible for you, so you can see results long term. And this is something you could sustain for the rest of your life. Don't overcomplicate this. This is not something that you need to sit here and think about, but it's just the truth, right? To get anything that you want in life, you have to dedicate your time and you have to make sacrifices. Following a high protein, low fat diet, I should have said whole foods. Whole foods is the most important. I made a Miro if you guys want to watch that video. I'll put it up right here and you guys will see that Miro that I had. So go give that a watch of exactly what I eat, all my whole foods diet. And, if you're the person that's on the go, protein shakes are fine, right? I recommend those. If you feel like you want to add that to your routine, go ahead and do it. It might fuck up your stomach a little bit, but for me, I've tried eating so much beef and it's hurt my stomach even more. And the bathroom doesn't fucking like you at the end of the day if you are just putting things in your body that's not reacting the best way. This is the truth. You don't have to give it your all to see results, but let me share this with you. If you've been wrestling with structure for an extended period of time, saying I'm too busy to get fit, or I'll wait until next year or New Year's, then perhaps committing to just 90% won't be enough. What truly helped me over the past year was establishing a structured routine that is sustainable for my life. So don't shortchange yourself. And what this means is, I brung this up so many times in the slides before. Just because someone has the physique that you want doesn't mean you don't have to work hard, just as hard as them, to get that physique. Sometimes you might not have the best genetics. You might not be the person that's going to get the best results, right? My roommate might have a bigger chest than me, but that's just how my genetics work, right? You can't force a process, right? But if having a structure to fall back on, you can be like, okay, I need to focus on my chest more. I need to focus on my triceps more. I need to focus on my arms. You got to understand you're different than everybody else, right? So if you might see someone, slacking off, eating, they're eating McDonald's here and there, they're eating these processed foods and they're getting results and you're not, that just means that you don't have the same body type, the same genetics as them. Don't sell yourself short. If you know that you lack consistency with a structured plan, then maybe it's time to go 100% in than just going 90% in, right? And this is what I'm talking about. You can get results going 90% in, but sometimes what people don't have, basically just saying, you know what, I haven't followed this plan. I haven't even started going to the gym. I haven't even started doing cardio. I haven't even started trying to get in the best shape possible. Let me create a schedule for myself that I go 100% in, right? For the first 4 to 6 months, you track every single thing and you say, okay, this took a little bit of my time. Let me try to adjust my schedule. That is what it's called, of going 100% in and changing the things that you need to change. Don't sell yourself short and think that, okay, I'm just going to do what everybody else does or this person does just because they're eating out 2 to 3 times a week. That means I can. That doesn't make any sense. Everyone's different. I'm gonna sit here and tell you guys, sometimes you need to go the extra mile, right, in order to see the results you want to see. Like I said, overweight, obesity, being someone that's stuck in that situation and not seeing results, this is something you need. This is my client, Micah. And I'm try to show you guys results that I've gotten my clients because this is the proven factor, right, of how structure actually works. And so you don't have to sit there and guess every single day. Oh, am I gonna get results one day? Oh, I'm gonna go 90% in. No, Micah was the type of guy, he had all these vices, he had all these habits, he had all these things on his day-to-day life that he lacked. Excuses, right? Oh, I work 10 hours every single day, so I'm gonna go in bed and I'm gonna scroll on my phone until I have to go to bed again. Right? That's called excuses. That's called not trying your absolute best, right? Not going 100% in. You're going 90%, maybe 85. Micah here wasn't even trying. He wasn't going to the gym. He wasn't being consistent with his life. And that's just how a lot of people that are watching this might be. Everyone's in a different situation. Everyone works different hours. Everyone's doing something differently, right? But if you are the person that is working a 9 to 5, or if you're the person that is too busy for this, then it's just an excuse at the end of the day. And that's why I started reading books and I started understanding that you have the time. You have the time. You just don't want to make the time for it. Micah has been enrolled in my program for about 4 months, about 4.5, maybe 5, but it takes a while for you to get on structure, right? You're not just going to do something one day and then automatically have it together, right? When I tell them to wake up at this time, doesn't mean they're going to actually wake up at that time every single day, but that's going to fit them in that routine. He has experienced remarkable results by adhering to a structured plan that fits seamlessly into his lifestyle. He works 10 hours a day, engages in a lot of physical labor. Prior to joining my program, he struggled with a lack of routine. He was unsure how to begin at the gym, and he had several long-standing bad habits. Now, on a promising path to success and is eager to become the best version of himself, right? So instead of him saying, you know what, I'm going to go maybe 50, 60, maybe 90% in and go to the gym and just guess my way, I'm going to invest into myself. I'm going to figure out exactly what I can do to become the best version of me, right? As fast as possible so he can add this routine to his life. Sometimes it can take accountability. Sometimes it can take just going the extra mile to get the results you need. As you guys see, he's 165, and guys, look how this is how he looked for the longest period of time. He was unhappy. Right? He was depressed. He had anxiety. You know, he was going to his vices, porn, etc. Right? And he told me this on the call. He's like, I really need to change my lifestyle. Right? And it wasn't just about going to the gym. It was all his other shitty habits that goes with your every single day life. Right? The doubt, the fear, every single thing like this. So joining my program helped him understand structure was the best thing for him. So before he was 165 pounds and he looked like this, and he looked skinnier than here. But let me tell you this, after 4 months on my program, or 4.5 months. Now he's 154 pounds. He's, about 10 pounds lower, right? And now, look at him. He's jacked as fuck. And this is due to his structure, his genetics, right? Because I told you, everyone's different. My clients have a different routine. Everyone's different, the way that they structure their workouts, the way that they hit their muscle groups the best possible way. You have to go through trial and error to understand that this protocol is going to help you as long as you stay consistent. And he would not have been able to do this without building the routine, building the structure, making sure that his lifestyle is sustainable. And also he's working on, we also have him on certain goals right now too as well, trying to quit his labor job, like an airline or something like that. And he does a lot of labor work for them. And I don't know exactly what he does, but he struggled with just consistency for a very, very long time, got him on this, and that's what got him going. But it's not over yet. This is my client, Gabriel. Gabriel has been a part of my program for about 5 months now, and he's successfully lost 54 pounds. If you guys do not know, if you don't know how much it is and how much effort it takes to lose 54 pounds, then you just haven't lost 54 pounds yet. He faced numerous challenges, visiting the doctors for answers. He was prescribed over 8 different medications without any suggestion that losing weight could resolve this issue. He came to me. I encouraged him by saying, hey, if you commit to this process and give 100% effort to losing the weight, you will see results. Since then, he has lost 54 pounds and he is happier than ever, right? And this is Gabriel as a truck driver. This is someone that is a truck driver, someone that literally does not have time to do anything, but he still gets it done because he wants it that bad. It's to the point he was pissed off of where he was truly at. Gabriel doesn't have much time to spare, but he still manages to get the job done. Despite being busy, he's been seeing significant results and continues to make progress. While he still has a way to go to reach his goals, his progress has made is remarkable. 54 pounds is insane. If you guys do not know that, right? And Gabriel doesn't have all this time to hit the gym. He hits the gym about 3 to 4 times a week, and sometimes he doesn't have time to hit the gym, which is totally fine. But as long as he sticks to that structure plan and that thing that I gave him, that blueprint that I gave him, then he's going to see the results that he wants, right? And that can be due to your diet. It can be due to your habits, the way that you live your lifestyle, the way that you the way that you use your time. It's super important. And as I became a lifestyle coach and a fitness coach for the past 4 years, I've learned that most people's excuses are I'm too busy. And he's a truck driver, by the way, and he's made this progress. Crazy. Before he's 265, and this is how he looked, 211 pounds now. His goal was 207 to get back to the Army, and he's about to actually get off the truck soon and get back to the Army. I'm going to go ahead and see him, so I'm going to vlog that. I'm going to take a trip out there, and I'm going to record a lot, and we're going to do a whole interview and talk about his, his struggles with medication, his struggles with, trying to figure out a solution for these pills that the doctor is prescribing him. Look, listen here. The doctors don't want to help you. They want to keep you in the same situation so you can go back and keep on paying them. That's how they do. Not all doctors, but a lot of the doctors will take advantage of you without you even knowing. They've done it to my family, my mom, right? My dad's never believed in that, but there's a lot of people in my family that have lost control of their lives because of the doctors prescribing them pills. People take ADHD medicine so they can focus, but they don't understand the foods that you eat can also help you make focus as well. So it's just the choices that you make in your life are going to be the most important things to understand. You don't need pills. That's going to save your life. You don't need them anymore. So cut that out. If you guys are the people, if you're someone that's watching this, you don't need pills. You don't need them. So this is the timeline right here. You're too busy. If you continue to put in minimal effort without seeing any results, you'll find yourself stuck in the same situation for years. Literally. Me and Gabriel talked about that. Me and Michael talk about that. And all my clients, we talk about that all the time, right? Complaining about your circumstances while avoiding taking action will only lead to a cycle of frustration, right? You're going to be pissed off. You're going to be unfocused. You're not going to be locked into your life. You're not going to be locked into your goals. And this is why I talk about making it sustainable for yourself. You don't have to live the gym bro lifestyle. You don't have to be an Instagram influencer. You don't have to do these certain things, right? That's what I thought before. I don't live that lifestyle anymore. I go to the gym a lot, but I still have other things that I like to do. Focusing on achieving long-term results rather than seeking quick fixes, all right? Because if Gabriel stopped doing what he's doing now, and he goes back to his old habits, his old way of living, then he's going to be stuck back in the same situation. That's why he continues to work with me and continues to invest into himself. Sometimes you're going to take accountability, guys. Don't forget that. If you guys need help, seek help. Don't go to the doctors to trying to take Ozempic and all these other things that you think are going to help you. They're not going to help you. And I only make these videos to help people in need and to help myself understand what's the reason behind why am I doing this, right? And that was my goal throughout my whole life. I always wanted to be a fitness coach. I've always wanted to, strive to be the best version of myself. I went through heartbreak. I've went through, depression, anxiety, all these certain things. And if I were to resort it back to the doctors and getting ADHD medication, I've took it a few times. It just makes you like a zombie. Do you want to live your every single day life like a zombie, or do you want to take control of your life and see remarkable results? The timeline off and on, right? You're either in or you're out. I went to church and they talk about balance a lot, right? You're not balancing your life. It's the same thing with your spiritual life, right? If I say that I'm a child of God, or, I believe in God and stuff like this, but then I'm not actually practicing what I'm preaching, especially outside of church, then that doesn't mean that my faith it can possibly be. It's called taking the time and sacrificing that time for something that's going to better you, right? Spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. And I think I said that the best way possible. And that's what I've been learning at church as well, right? Is like, you don't need to be the best Christian, but at the end of the day, right, I want to walk the path with God and understand of what his messages really mean. And that's what it's the same thing that goes into your every single day lifestyle, right? Either you want to get in shape, either you want a better job. You need to balance your life out. It has to be sustainable. But the off and on timeline is you commit to yourself to only 2 times a week, allowing yourself to slip away because the feeling of dissatisfaction seems preferable to give your all. You choose to watch TV instead of taking a walk. And after visiting the gym that same day, fully aware that you could be pushing yourself further, right? Like a lot of people, the gym bro lifestyle, and these people on social media, they think, okay, I'm just going to go to the gym for 4 hours a day, but then after go on my bed and watch YouTube. watch all these influencers that are making so much money, making so much progress in life, but you could be pushing yourself further. And that's why I became a lifestyle coach through structure and building a routine for my clients, because I don't want them to live the same lifestyle at all through their job. If they hate it, I don't want them to, keep on being overweight if they hate it. I don't want them to keep on being depressed if they hate it, right? If you hate something, it has to become to the person that you have to change. But this is the thing. This timeline is the best possible thing you can do. Going all in, right? And this is very, very important. When you commit to when you commit fully to your goals, be it physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, like I was talking about at church, outside of church, you also invest into yourself, right? You don't care if you're going to fail. You don't care that, you have fear, you have these doubt in your mind that you're not going to see results. You just do it, right? You do the things that you have to do. You get it done. No more excuses. You adhere to plan and strive for long-term success, not just to impress others. This journey is about sustaining your progress for your lifetime as you genuinely wish to improve 1% each day. It's a commitment, y'all. It's a commitment. It truly is. And this is why this video might have got you clicked on, right? You guys seen the vlog of me living my lifestyle and this and that, living in Miami. But there's no way I could sustain this if I didn't have a structured routine. When I first moved to Miami, I was all over the place. I was going to the strip clubs, the clubs. I was putting these things in my mind that didn't mean anything to me. They didn't impact me in any type of way. The same thing that can go to your vices, right? You can keep going back because it makes you feel good in the moment, right? Getting drunk, being addicted to alcohol. This all goes into it, guys. If you guys want to better your life every single solitary day, I promise you, bro, this is the things that you have to do in order to become successful with yourself. You have to go 100% in. Stop half-assing every single thing that you do on a day-to-day basis, because that's going to result into depression, anxiety, overweight, lack of confidence, lack of self-awareness, understanding that you could be farther than you are, and you sit there confused. These are results, right? The results will ultimately speak for themselves as you navigate through the life. You have the power to succeed in whatever you desire. While it can be tempting to put in minimal effort at times, aligning yourself with your true self and consistently working hard to reach the top 1% can transform your entire life. So instead of having the excuses of saying, you know what, maybe I work 10 hours a day, but how can I put my effort into something else, at least 1 to 2 hours, and make it much better, make myself feel good, actually accomplish something else in my life than just going to a regular 9 to 5 and saying, you know what, I did it all today. It's okay. That's what I was made to do. That's called a lack of self-belief and a lack of understanding of where you actually can be super quick. 4 to 6 months is all it really takes. And I talk about this a lot on my other Miro boards and stuff like that. 4 to 6 months. That's all it takes to lose the weight you want, to get the job that you want, to forget about all the people that are around you that don't want to see you succeed, to get rid of them. It takes that long. What me and my clients did to change our lives. 1, we created a structure and a routine that was sustainable for our lifestyle, sacrificing our old habits for new ones. If you guys haven't read Atomic Habits, I really recommend for you guys to read that. It's super, super important to understand that. To make this lifestyle sustainable, you need to recreate your identity. Totally reframe your mind and understand that your life doesn't have to be the same anymore, right? I'm going to put this down a little bit, but your life doesn't have to be the same anymore. You have to recreate new habits. And I talk about Atomic Habits so much. Read the book, and that's why I put the books right here. It's super important to understand when you're reading, you're developing a different perspective, a different mindset that other people had that are way further than you in life. And don't be scared to invest into books, invest into yourself, into programs and stuff like this. And some people think, oh, it was a waste of money. Something that you spend your money on that you're learning even one thing from, 2 things from, you're still making results. Don't get stuck in that mindset. Adopting whole foods over dining out, a shift in identity to truly embrace whole foods instead of eating out once or twice a week. The first step is to transform your identity. You cannot expect to achieve your fitness goals while maintaining old habits and not altering your daily routine. This doesn't mean you can't enjoy your favorite foods occasionally. Remember, those treats must be earned. That's how you have to think of life. Things have to be earned, right? If you're not earning, right? If you're not locking in every single day, right? And you feel that you didn't go to the gym this week, why would you expect to go out and drink, with the boys, drink with your friends? That is just the mindset that is going to keep you away from actually accomplishing your long-term goals. And I promise you that's what it's going to do. Clean up your lifestyle, quitting the vices if it's controlling you, watching TV instead of going outside and getting 10K steps in, scrolling on social media instead of acting on your life goals, eating out almost every day instead of meal prepping, showing up for others instead of yourself. Like I just said before, these are what helped me and my clients change and transform into a different version of ourselves. Recreate a whole new identity. Understand that we can be better. We can make this lifestyle more sustainable, but it's about, do you want to remain the same, or do you want to change the person you are now so you can see sustainable results in the future? And I know it sucks to hear it, and I know it sucked for me to understand this, but that's just the truth of life. You are the person that's going to recreate a whole new life for yourself. And getting in the best shape of your life, it's not bad, right? It's not unsustainable. You just don't want to do it because it's hard. You get away from all the hard stuff, and that's what I did for my whole life. And when I talk about these things, I'm relating it back to myself. I wasn't always the best person. I dropped out of college. I moved to Houston with no money. And I told myself that I have a goal. I have a dream, right? And I stuck with that dream. And now I'm doing what I love because I stuck with it. There's a lot of trials and tribulations of me, over accumulating money and using money in the worst way possible with my vices, and not understanding of where I actually needed to be and making the result and making actionable steps on how to get to where I want to be. And that's all it can take, man. Just structuring your days out. And I hope you guys did enjoy this presentation because it's something that I put a lot of time into. And I know that, we might be going through something in our life, but just know someone else is going through worse. Someone's homeless. Someone doesn't have money to pay for the groceries. But if you're that person that makes a good amount of money and, you're just sitting there stuck and you're hoping for something to change in your life and you're not doing the actionable steps to get there, then it's just not going to happen. When you put these things into action, that's where you see the long-term results. And that's the whole point of this presentation, right? I put how you can go 90% in your life, right? You cannot track your calories. You don't have to, track your routine and put everything on paper. But wouldn't it make it better for you to reach your goals faster and more efficiently if you were to do those things? So now think about exactly what I just said and just rethink it. And if you don't like the way that I said everything, then that's okay, truly. But the people that actually watch this video that want to see long-term results, then I appreciate you for taking your time out the day to watch this because it's going to help you. And it's something that I've always wanted to put out. So I hope you guys do enjoy the rest of your guys' day.